Hey guys, it's Matt Zudwig here, yet again with another video. I want to talk a little bit about offense again. Did you ever have something that happens to you? I know you have. That it just lights a spark in you for whatever reason. It's like something that just becomes really important. You become passionate about it. It's been like that with several things in my lifetime, but for whatever reason, this whole topic offense is just really lighting a spark in me, and I really have a lot to say about it, and I really have a lot of experience with it, honestly, on both sides. Not that I'm a expert, but I think I do have a lot of life experience there, and I think I can help some people, and I think it's good for me to discuss this as well. So sorry for all the noise. I got my yak tracks on. It's slippery, so I'm walking on the ice. But it's a beautiful day. It's 35 degrees. And, sorry, I'm going to get sidetracked. There's no way around that. My wife was watching my video from the other day, and she goes, I think you have ADD. And you know what? I think she might be right. I watched it too, and I thought, yeah, I think I might, but you're just gonna have to deal with that. I'm sorry. But one thing I wanted to touch on today on the subject that I was thinking about is there's something, I touched on the last video about becoming hard to offend. I feel like I'm really hard to offend, and I definitely was not that way for a long time. In fact, I was really easy to offend. So I want to talk to you about what I think made the change as far as that goes in my life. One of my first real job when I was still in high school, I was managing a sign shop. I learned how to hand letter. I was doing lots of design and managing, 5 or 6 employees and getting jobs done. And it was a great job, and I loved it. But everybody there hated me. Like, I was like the enemy. And so the guy who owned the shop, my boss, was a great guy, he would sit me down probably once a month, and he'd say something like, I don't know what it is about you, but you just have this way about you. He's like, I can't even explain it really, but you have a way about you that makes everybody else feel like less, like they feel like they're on a lower level. And the first couple times he had this talk with me, I just brushed it off like, whatever. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. That's not how I am, And then every month this would go on. And then at one point, somebody else, and I don't even remember who it was, but somebody else said something similar to me. And I was just like, what? That's 2 people now that are saying this. But I still kind of brushed it off. And then years ago, as part of like a men's group that I was in, we did this really extensive personality test. And where, you fill out all these answers. It took like 2 hours or something. And then you submit it. Like, you mail this thing in, and they send it back to you, and you get the results back. And so I read like these 4 or 5 pages of results of my personality test. And actually I was pretty blown away. Not at the strengths of my personality. Everybody knows their strengths. I mean, if you've lived long enough, you know what you're good at. But what this personality did different than a lot of them that I've taken, and I have taken a lot of them, but what this one did different is it really focused on your weaknesses of your personality. And this was really eye-opening to me about how my particular personality, some of the main weaknesses in that personality were things like, you really have to be careful because with your personality, you're going to make people feel like they're judged, like they're less of a moral person than you, like they're less good than you, and all these different things. And that was completely eye-opening for me, like life-changing for me. And through that and through a few other things, I feel like I really got a revelation of how my personality works. Sounds like there's a car coming. Of how my personality works, and hang on, it might get noisy here for just a second. So I feel like I really got a revelation of how my personality works, especially as far as the weaknesses in my personality. But I also, at one point, really truly got a revelation that everything that I was offended at from other people, I had also done myself to somebody else. And so I think one of the key components of being offended is not realizing that you're just as bad as the person who offended you in some way or another. I mean, I'm not saying you've done the exact same thing, but every single one of us needs to be forgiven by somebody. Every single one of us has offended somebody. My mom and my grandma, they were probably the most saintly women I've ever known in my life. I mean, if there was anybody as perfect as you could get, I would say my mom and my grandma, but even they offended people and probably still do today, so, well, my mom anyways. But, I think the sooner you can get the revelation that you aren't any better than anybody else as far as needing forgiveness from other people, I think the sooner you get that revelation, the less offendable you're going to be. It's so easy to get offended, especially in this culture that we're in. We're in this culture of such a victim mentality, and it's really hard to live a victorious life and a confident life and a life that blesses other people if you're so focused on yourself as a victim, or if you're so focused on yourself as a hurt person that somebody's hurt, that somebody's done something to. So I think the sooner we can all get out of this victim mentality and realize that it's not about us, it's not about me. We're living in this me culture, and it's not about me. I'm not here for me. I enjoy this life. I love my life, absolutely, but I'm not here for me. And I have to remind myself of that all the time. And one more thing before I end this video is, if you have somebody that hurt you, offended you, hurt your feelings, you can call this a million different things. But if you have a relationship where you've struggled because someone has offended, it's usually both people are offended at each other. That's usually how it works, and for different reasons. And usually neither one of them knows that they've offended the other person, or why they've offended the other person, what they did. But what it's going to take to mend that relationship, or at least forgive, just to even if the relationship is never gets reconciled, at least forgive, like truly forgive that person. And I'll go into that in more detail. I have a whole bunch of these videos planned. I don't want to make them super long like my last one, but I'm done apologizing for long videos. By the way, I had lots of people give me feedback saying, shut up, quit apologizing for sharing. So I'm done apologizing for that anyways. I'm sure I'll apologize for more stuff. Anyways, just get out of that victim mentality. But what I was saying before my ADD moment there is it's going to take one person in the relationship to take the high road. And it doesn't matter who it is, but somebody has to take the high road if you're going to mend that relationship and talk to the person, or forgive, or do what you have to do to make things right with that relationship. Because if you're carrying forgiveness, you're the one that's hurting. Really, you are. You're hurting yourself by being unforgiving. So that's all I got to say for now. Thanks for listening to me. And until the next video, so long. Have a great day.